Imagine a stranger just drops into your town. He has a seemingly endless supply of cash, he completely alters the trajectory of everyone he meets, and within exactly 1 year, he leaves a permanent mark on the city. But there is a massive catch. He absolutely refuses to tell anyone his last name. Like, he literally dodges the question every single time. Who is he, and why is he hiding?
Hey everyone, so today we're doing an explainer on this beautiful, honestly, kind of magical novel by Alan Levy called Theo of Golden. The story kicks off when this older, incredibly wealthy Portuguese man named Theo suddenly arrives in a warm, pastel-colored southern town called Golden. He's charming, he has this deep fondness for rivers since he grew up near the Douro in Portugal, and he has this immediate magnetic pull to him that just draws people in.
Early on in his stay, Theo stumbles into a thriving local coffee shop called The Chalice. Now, what's really fascinating here is what's hanging on the walls. There are 92 hyper-realistic pencil portraits. They are incredible, lifelike drawings of the actual patrons of the shop. It's like a full cross-section of humanity just staring back at you.
These were all drawn by a local artist named Asher Glisson. And Asher basically waged a daily war against mediocrity with just a couple of pencils, some charcoal, and a kneaded eraser. He literally created a neighborhood right on the coffee shop walls. Every single face tells a story. And Theo, he is instantly mesmerized. He studies them from afar, putting his glasses on the tip of his nose, looking like some art historian wandering around the Louvre.
But then he finds out something ridiculous. All 92 portraits are for sale and 0 have been sold. Wait, why is nobody buying these masterpieces? The coffee shop owner, Shep, says to him, "I wish someone would come along and buy all of them." Okay, that's actually crazy to me. By the way, if you wish someone would buy your masterpieces, or you just really like good stories, take a second to like this explainer and subscribe. It honestly really helps out.
Anyway, back to Theo. He loves the art, he's clearly loaded. But here's the weird part. Theo is an absolute Houdini at dodging personal questions, especially about his name. People naturally want to know who this wealthy, charming guy in the three-piece suit is, but he will not give up his surname. If you ask him for his last name, he launches into this massive, rambling explanation. He'll say something like, "Oh, I have a strange and difficult Portuguese name. We have some unusual vowels in my country, so just call me Theo. And hey, what do you do for work?" He literally exhausts people into submission. He just hijacks the conversation with this warm smile so you completely forget you even asked. And this brilliantly illustrates how to hide in plain sight. He has absolutely no email address, 0 social media. His single credit card just says PHLT. He even hires this highly secretive local consultant named Mr. Ponder, a guy who handles very sensitive information and is sworn to secrecy. This guy is completely off the grid, and yet he is quietly plotting something massive for those 92 unsold portraits and really for the entire town.
But Golden isn't just a quirky, pastel-colored, happy southern town. And this is where everything changes. Beneath all that sunshine, there is a deep, painful shadow. Right in the center of town, in an area called the Promenade, there's an oak tree. And on the southeast side of this tree, about 8 feet up, there is a massive scar on the trunk. It looks exactly like the shape of an eye. The older black folks in town call it the Eye of God. And they call it that because those trees were the site of public executions and horrific lynchings in Golden's dark past.
There's this haunting local belief shared by an old soul who survived those eras. She said, "God sees. The eye of God sees. He keepin' score." People swear that the bitter sap leaking from that scar, from the eye of God, isn't just rainwater and tannin. They genuinely believe it's actually the tears of God weeping every single day for the unspeakable injustices and the town's dark history.
So the crucial question is, why choose the weeping tree? Why does Theo, a man of such immense light, wealth, and privilege, intentionally center his daily walks and his entire life in Golden right next to this haunting reminder of pain and evil? He could have gone anywhere in the world. He had a private jet to fly into Atlanta. Why here?
As you dive into Alan Levy's book, you start to realize something profound. Theo's lightheartedness wasn't just a cute personality trait. As one character reflects, his lightheartedness was deadly serious and steeped in purpose. His ruthless goodness, his anonymous, extravagant kindness, it was a deliberate rebellion against the town's darker edges. He wasn't ignoring the pain, he was actively fighting it with beauty.
Theo didn't just casually buy art. He elevated unseen artists like Asher. He quietly supported struggling local bookstores like The Verbivore, run by his friend Tony, keeping them from closing their doors. He stepped into a town scarred by hatred and chose to leave a permanent mark of saintliness. His true art wasn't pencil on paper. It was making everyday people feel deeply seen, fiercely valued, and undeniably loved.
At the end of his year in Golden, and I absolutely will not spoil exactly what happens to him, there's a beautiful moment where Father Lundy looks out at the people whose lives Theo touched, and he just says, "He loved you." Just let that emotional weight land for a second. It's incredibly moving.
In a modern world where we are absolutely obsessed with fame, taking credit, and getting our names plastered on everything we do, Theo's story is such a refreshing realization. Radical, anonymous kindness is the ultimate superpower. You don't need a famous last name to change a community. You just need to show up and actually care.
Which brings me to a question for all of you. Let's say you had exactly 1 year and endless resources to completely change a town for the better. What would you do? Would you buy up local art, save a bookstore, build something entirely new? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. I would really love to read them.
Anyway, you really need to read this for yourself to uncover what Theo actually did with all those portraits of the chalice and what his real identity was. I barely scratched the surface here. Go grab a copy of Alan Levy's book, Theo of Golden. Let me know what you think, and if you want more explainers like this, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next one.